Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm so happy you've joined us today.
And I'm Mark. Whether you're listening on your way to work, relaxing at home, or enjoying a peaceful walk, thank you for spending part of your day with us.
Today's story is called The Blue Castle. It's a heartwarming tale about courage, hope, and discovering that true happiness often begins the moment we stop living for other people's expectations.
So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and simply enjoy the story. Let's begin.
At 29 years old, Emma Carter felt as though life had quietly passed her by. She lived in an old family home on the edge of a peaceful English village. Although the house was large, it never felt warm or welcoming. Every room seemed to carry the weight of endless rules and expectations. Her aunt, Mrs. Carter, believed she always knew what was best for Emma. Every decision, from what Emma wore to where she went, and even which books she read, was made for her. That dress is far too bright. You don't need to visit those neighbors. People will think badly of us. Emma had heard these kinds of comments for so many years that she rarely argued anymore. It seemed easier to stay quiet than to fight a battle she could never win.
Yet, despite everything, Emma had one secret that belonged only to her. Every evening, after the house had fallen silent, she would sit beside her bedroom window and look toward the dark forest beyond the village. In her imagination stood a charming little blue cottage surrounded by tall pine trees and colorful wildflowers. Smoke curled gently from its chimney, birds sang from the branches above, and a narrow stone path led to its welcoming front door. Emma called this magical place the Blue Castle. It wasn't really a castle at all. It was the life she wished she could live, a place where nobody judged her, a place where she could laugh freely, make her own choices, and wake each morning feeling excited instead of afraid. Whenever life became too difficult, she escaped there in her thoughts. For a little while, she felt completely free.
One rainy afternoon, something unexpected happened. For several weeks, Emma had been feeling unusually tired. Even climbing the stairs left her short of breath. Her aunt insisted she visit the village doctor. "It's probably nothing serious," said Mrs. Carter, "but respectable people don't ignore their health." Emma quietly agreed and walked to the Dr. Collins' small clinic near the village square. The doctor welcomed her warmly. After listening carefully to her heartbeat and asking several questions, he suggested a few routine tests. "I don't want you to worry," he said kindly. "This is simply a precaution." Emma thanked him and returned home. Several days passed. Life continued exactly as before. Breakfast, housework, family criticism, long evenings dreaming about the Blue Castle. Then, one gray morning, the postman delivered a single envelope addressed to Emma. The handwriting on the front belonged to Dr. Collins. She carried it upstairs before opening it. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the letter. The words seemed almost impossible to understand. According to the test results, she had developed a serious heart condition. Emma's heart raced as she continued reading. The letter explained that her condition was extremely rare. According to the report, she might have less than a year to live if the illness continued to worsen. There was one final sentence that caught her attention. "Please avoid severe emotional or physical shock, as it could place dangerous strain on your heart." Emma read the letter again and again. Then she quietly folded it and stared out of her bedroom window. For several long minutes, she couldn't move. She had spent years worrying about disappointing her family. Now she wondered if she would even be alive a year from now. At first, she cried. She cried for the life she had never lived, for all the dreams she had hidden, for every opportunity she had allowed to pass because she had been afraid of what others might think. But as the afternoon slowly faded into evening, something unexpected happened. Her fear began to disappear. If time was truly running out, why should she continue living for everyone except herself? For the first time in years, she felt strangely calm. If she only had 1 year left, she wanted every single day to matter. That evening, the family gathered around the dinner table as usual. The conversation quickly turned to gossip. Mrs. Carter sighed dramatically. "Have you heard about that man who lives alone beyond Blackwood Forest?" Emma's cousin nodded immediately. "You mean Ethan Rowan? People say he's unfriendly." "I've heard he's hiding something," another relative added. "No respectable person chooses to live completely alone." The family continued making assumptions about someone none of them truly knew. Normally, Emma would have remained silent, but not tonight. She slowly placed her fork on the table. "I don't think that's fair," she said quietly. Everyone stopped eating. Her aunt looked at her in surprise. "What did you say?" Emma looked around the table. "I said I don't think that's fair. No one here actually knows him. Perhaps he simply enjoys a quiet life. Perhaps he's happier than any of us." The room fell silent. Her relatives stared as though they were speaking to a complete stranger. Mrs. Carter frowned. "Emma, that's a very inappropriate thing to say." Emma smiled politely. "Maybe, but I believe people should spend less time judging others and more time improving their own lives." No one answered. Dinner ended in uncomfortable silence. For the first time, Emma wasn't worried about their opinions. She felt lighter than she had in years.
The following morning, Emma packed a single traveling bag. She placed a few dresses inside, her favorite novels, a notebook, and the doctor's letter. Nothing more. When she carried the suitcase downstairs, her aunt looked up in confusion. "Where are you going?" Emma smiled gently. "I'm leaving. You can't simply leave your family. I can. You'll regret this. Maybe, but if I stay, I'll regret it even more." Without another word, she opened the front door. The cool morning breeze greeted her like an old friend. She stepped onto the quiet village road. For the first time in nearly 30 years, every step belonged to her.
Emma found work caring for an elderly woman who lived in a neighboring village. The woman had no close relatives, and she needed someone to help prepare meals, keep the house tidy, and offer friendly company. The work was peaceful. There were no endless rules, no constant criticism, only simple days filled with honest conversation. One afternoon, while walking back from the village market, Emma noticed a man repairing a wooden fence beside a narrow forest path. He looked up and smiled politely. "Good afternoon." "Good afternoon," Emma replied. She recognized him immediately. It was Ethan Rowan, the mysterious man everyone in her village loved to gossip about. He didn't seem frightening at all. He looked thoughtful, calm, kind. Over the following weeks, they met several more times, sometimes at the market, sometimes while walking through the forest. Their conversations began with the weather, then books, then music, then dreams. Emma discovered that Ethan loved reading, enjoyed painting quiet landscapes, and preferred the company of birds and trees to noisy crowds. She couldn't understand why everyone had judged him so harshly. The more time she spent with him, the more she realized how little appearances revealed about a person. And for the first time in many years, Emma found herself genuinely looking forward to tomorrow. As the seasons changed, Emma and Ethan became closer. What began as simple conversations slowly turned into a beautiful friendship. They talked about everything: the books they loved, the places they wanted to visit, the dreams they had never shared with anyone else. Ethan never laughed at Emma's imagination. He never told her that her dreams were unrealistic. Instead, he encouraged her. I think everyone needs a special place in their heart, Ethan said one evening as they watched the sunset over the forest. A place where they can be completely themselves. Emma smiled. That's exactly how I feel about my blue castle. Ethan looked curious. Your blue castle? Emma laughed softly. It's not a real castle. It's a place I created in my imagination. A place where I can finally be free. Ethan looked toward the trees. Maybe the most important places aren't made of stone. Maybe they're made from the moments that make us happy. Emma remembered those words for a long time.
Several months passed peacefully. Emma's life was completely different now. She no longer woke up feeling trapped. She no longer worried about every little decision. She cooked when she wanted, read whenever she wished, walked through the forest whenever she needed peace. For the first time, she felt like she was truly alive. But there was still one thing missing: a place to call home. One cold evening, Emma visited Ethan at his small wooden cottage near the lake. The house was simple, but it was filled with warmth. A small fire burned in the fireplace. Books covered the shelves. Paintings decorated the walls. It felt comfortable and peaceful. Emma looked around and smiled. This place feels special. Ethan looked at her. Special? Yes, Emma replied. It feels like the place I always imagined. Ethan smiled. Maybe your blue castle was never a building. Maybe it was always a feeling. Emma became quiet. She realized he was right. The happiness she had searched for all her life was not hidden somewhere far away. It was here, in this moment, with someone who accepted her completely.
One evening while they were sitting beside the fire, Emma suddenly became serious. Ethan, I need to tell you something. He looked concerned. Is everything all right? Emma took a deep breath. I have something important to explain. She explained about the doctor's letter. She explained that she had believed she only had a short time left to live. She explained how that news had changed everything. It was strange. That terrible news gave me the courage to finally start living. Ethan listened carefully. Then he gently took her hand. Emma, whatever happens, I'm grateful that you found your way here. A few weeks later, Emma made a decision. She wanted to stay with Ethan, not because she felt sorry for herself, not because she was afraid of being alone, but because she had found someone who truly understood her. One quiet morning beside the lake, Emma asked, Ethan, would you like to build a life together with me? Ethan looked surprised. Then he smiled. I thought you would never ask. They decided to marry and make the little cottage their home. It wasn't a grand house. It wasn't filled with expensive furniture. But to Emma, it was everything she had ever dreamed about. This was her real blue castle.
Winter arrived, and the forest became covered with snow. Emma and Ethan enjoyed their peaceful life together. They walked through snowy paths, they read books beside the fire, they laughed about small things. Every day felt like a gift. Then, one morning, something unexpected happened. Emma and Ethan were walking near the old railway bridge outside the village. Emma stopped suddenly. Her boot had become trapped between two wooden boards beside the tracks. She pulled hard, but it wouldn't move. "Ethan," she called. He turned around and immediately ran towards her. In the distance, they heard a terrible sound. A train was approaching. The ground shook beneath their feet. Emma froze. For a moment, she remembered the doctor's warning. A sudden shock could be dangerous. But Ethan didn't hesitate. He grabbed her arm with all his strength and pulled her away from the tracks. They fell safely onto the snowy ground just seconds before the train passed. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. They were both breathing heavily. Then Emma slowly opened her eyes. Something felt strange. She was alive. Her heart was beating normally. She wasn't weak. She wasn't in pain. Nothing had happened.
Later that afternoon, Emma returned to Dr. Collins's clinic. The doctor looked surprised to see her. "Emma, is something wrong?" She placed the old letter on his desk. "I need to ask you something about this." Dr. Collins picked out the paper. He read it carefully. Then his face changed. He looked shocked. "Oh no." Emma noticed his expression. "What is it?" The doctor closed his eyes for a moment. "Emma, I owe you an apology." She waited silently. "There has been a terrible mistake." "A mistake?" "Yes. The test results and the letter were not meant for you." Emma stared at him. "The information belonged to another patient with a similar name." The room became completely silent. Dr. Collins continued, "Your heart is healthy. You have no serious condition." Emma couldn't believe what she was hearing. After all those months of believing she was dying, she was completely healthy. She walked out of the clinic with tears in her eyes. But this time, they were tears of happiness. She ran back toward the forest, back toward the home where her true happiness had begun, back toward her blue castle.
When Emma reached the cottage, Ethan immediately knew something had happened. "Emma, what's wrong?" She smiled through her tears. "Everything is right." She told him the truth. The illness had been a mistake. She wasn't going to lose her life. She had her whole future ahead of her. Ethan hugged her tightly. "I'm so happy for you." Emma smiled. "You know what's funny?" "What?" "I thought I was losing my life, but I was actually finding it." Ethan looked at her warmly. "And I have something to tell you too." Emma looked curious. "What is it?" Ethan took a deep breath. "The life I live here is not my whole story." He explained that his family owned a successful business and that he had inherited a large fortune. He had chosen to live simply because he wanted a peaceful life away from attention. "We could move to a beautiful mansion if you want." Emma looked around the small cottage. Then she smiled. "I don't need a mansion. I already have my blue castle." And she meant every word.
Sometimes the life we dream about is not a faraway place. Sometimes it is the person beside us, the moments we share, and the courage we discover inside ourselves.
Thank you for listening to today's story on English Chat Flow. Now let's practice some useful English expressions from this story.
First, let's review some shadowing sentences.
Repeat after us.
Emma finally learned to make her own choices.
Emma finally learned to make her own choices.
She discovered that happiness comes from being yourself.
She discovered that happiness comes from being yourself.
Ethan never judged her dreams.
Ethan never judged her dreams.
Sometimes a difficult moment can change your entire life.
Sometimes a difficult moment can change your entire life.
I don't need a perfect life. I need a meaningful one.
I don't need a perfect life. I need a meaningful one.
That brings us to the end of our story.
We hope this episode helped you practice English while enjoying a beautiful story.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
See you next time on English Chat Flow. Goodbye.